बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम, अस्सलामुअलैकुम। वेलकम टू माय चैनल। आज की वीडियो में हम ग्रेड 6 इंग्लिश बुक का यूनिट नंबर 2 रीड करेंगे। यूनिट नंबर 2 स्टोरीज ऑफ ऑल टाइम, यानी हर दौर की कहानियां। इस यूनिट में हम उन फेमस और इंटरेस्टिंग स्टोरीज के बारे में रीड करेंगे जो आप कई सालों से सुनते हुए आ रहे हैं। हम इन स्टोरीज को रीड करेंगे, इनको एंजॉय करेंगे और इनमें दिए हुए मॉरल्स को समझेंगे और उनको अपनी प्रैक्टिकल लाइफ में अप्लाई करने की कोशिश करेंगे। तो चलते हैं पेज नंबर 32 की तरफ। इस पेज पर आप देख सकते हैं आपको काफी सारी पिक्चर्स दी गई हैं। हर पिक्चर एक डिफरेंट स्टोरी बता रहा है। आपको पिक्चर्स देखकर थोड़ा बहुत आइडिया हो रहा होगा कि इनमें किन स्टोरीज की बात की जा रही है। इस पेज पर टोटल 9 स्टोरीज आपको दी गई हैं। हम वन बाय वन इन पिक्चर्स के जरिए इन स्टोरीज को रीड करेंगे। स्टोरीज ऑफ ऑल टाइम, हर दौर की कहानियां। अब वन बाय वन इन स्टोरीज को रीड करना स्टार्ट करते हैं। फर्स्ट पिक्चर में आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पर है एंट और ग्रासहॉपर। तो इससे हमें आइडिया हो रहा है कि ये स्टोरी है द ग्रासहॉपर एंड द एंट की। तो आइए स्टोरी को रीड करते हैं।
The Grasshopper and the Ants. Once upon a time, in a sunny meadow, a grasshopper spent his days singing and playing music. Nearby, a group of ants worked hard, carrying food to their nest. "Why do you work so hard?" asked the grasshopper. "Come, sing and dance with me." "We are storing food for winter," replied the ants. "When the cold comes, we will be ready." The grasshopper laughed. "Winter is far away. I'll enjoy today." Soon winter arrived. The meadow was silent and cold. The grasshopper had no food. Shivering, the grasshopper begged, "Please, share your food with me." The ants replied, "In summer you sang while we worked. Now in winter, you must face the result." Moral: there is a time to work and a time to play. Those who prepare for the future will not suffer later.
अब सेकंड पिक्चर है हमारे पास एक लॉयन और एक माउस की, जिससे हमें आइडिया हो रहा है कि ये स्टोरी है द लॉयन एंड द माउस। तो आइए इस स्टोरी को रीड करते हैं।
The Lion and the Mouse. One day, a mighty lion was sleeping under a tree. A tiny mouse ran over his paw and woke him up. The lion caught the mouse. "How dare you disturb me? I will eat you." The mouse trembled. "Please, let me go. Someday, I may help you." The lion laughed at the idea, but he let the mouse go free. Days later, the lion was caught in a hunter's net. He roared for help. The little mouse heard the roar. He ran quickly and began to gnaw the ropes. At last, the lion was free. "Thank you, little friend," said the lion. Moral: kindness is never wasted, and even the smallest can help the mightiest.
थर्ड पिक्चर है हमारे पास एक लड़की की और एक वुल्फ की। तो ये स्टोरी है हमारे पास द लिटिल रेड राइडिंग हुड। तो आइए इस स्टोरी को रीड करते हैं।
Little Red Riding Hood. Little Red Riding Hood set out with a basket of food for her grandmother. She skipped along the forest path, humming and picking a few flowers. Suddenly, a wolf stepped out from behind the trees. "Where are you going, little girl?" he asked with a sly smile. "To my grandmother's house," she replied, pointing down the path. The wolf said, "Why don't you take the long path? There are so many beautiful flowers there." Little Red Riding Hood happily took the long path. The wolf ran straight to the house. He tied up the grandmother and hid her in the cupboard. Then he put on her clothes and got into bed. When Little Red Riding Hood arrived, she saw the strange figure in bed. What big eyes you have, grandmother, she said. The better to see you with, my dear, the wolf replied. What big ears you have, grandmother, she said. The better to hear you with, my dear, he replied. What big teeth you have, she whispered. The better to eat you with, the wolf growled. The wolf leaped out of bed. Just then, a woodcutter burst in and scared the wolf away. He untied the grandmother and hugged Little Red Riding Hood. She promised, I will never talk to strangers again. Moral: always be cautious and do not trust strangers.
नेक्स्ट पिक्चर आप देख सकते हैं, यहाँ पर एक लड़का है और आगे पीछे आप देख सकते हैं काफी सारे शीप आपको नजर आ रहे हैं। तो ये स्टोरी है हमारे पास द शेफर्ड बॉय एंड द वुल्फ की। तो आइए इस स्टोरी को रीड करते हैं।
Shepherd Boy and the Wolf. A shepherd boy watched his sheep on a sunny hillside. The sheep grazed peacefully. Day after day, he sat alone. Soon he grew restless and bored. He thought, I want some fun. Maybe I can play a trick. He jumped up and shouted loudly, Wolf! Wolf! A wolf is attacking the sheep. The villagers rushed up the hill with sticks and tools. When they arrived, there was no wolf at all. The boy laughed and clapped. The villagers frowned. Don't lie, boy. Someday you'll regret this. But the next afternoon, the boy cried again, Wolf! Wolf! Once more, the villagers ran to help. Again, there was no wolf. The boy laughed even harder. The villagers shook their heads. We will not believe you next time, they warned. A few days later, a real wolf came out of the forest, its eyes glowing. The wolf leapt toward the sheep. The boy screamed, Wolf! Wolf! Please help! This time, the villagers did not come. They thought it was just another trick. The wolf scattered the flock, chasing the sheep into the woods. The shepherd boy sank to the ground and cried bitterly. Moral 1. Nobody believes a liar, even when he tells the truth. Moral 2. Trust is easy to break, but hard to rebuild.
नेक्स्ट पिक्चर में आप देख सकते हैं एक फॉक्स है जो कि अंगूर पकड़ने की कोशिश कर रहा है। तो ये स्टोरी है हमारे पास द फॉक्स एंड द ग्रेप्स की। तो आइए इस स्टोरी को रीड करते हैं।
The Fox and the Grapes. On a hot day, a fox roamed through the forest looking for food. He was very hungry and his stomach rumbled loudly. Suddenly, he spotted a grapevine. Juicy purple grapes hung high above. The fox licked his lips. Those grapes looked delicious. He stretched up on his toes, but the grapes were too high. He jumped once with all his might, but missed. He tried again, leaping higher, but still failed. He jumped again and again. His legs ached, and he grew tired. Panting and sweating, the fox finally sat down under the vine. He frowned and said, Those grapes are probably sour anyway. He walked away, pretending he never wanted them. Moral 1. It is easy to despise what you cannot have. Moral 2. Excuses cannot hide failure.
नेक्स्ट पिक्चर में आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पर आपको एक शख्स दिखाया गया है जिसके हाथ में चिराग है और आगे पीछे आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पर आपको खजाना दिखाया गया है। तो ये स्टोरी है हमारे पास अली बाबा एंड द 40 थीव्स की। तो आइए इस स्टोरी को रीड करते हैं।
Alibaba and the 40 Thieves. Alibaba was a poor woodcutter who lived with his wife in a small village. Every day, He went to the forest to cut wood and sell it in the market. One day, while working, he heard the sound of galloping horses. Alibaba hid behind a tree and saw 40 thieves carrying heavy bags of gold. The leader shouted, "Open sesame!" and a great rock opened like a door. The thieves went inside, then came out and said, "Close sesame!" The cave closed again. When they rode away, Alibaba whispered, "Open sesame!" and stepped inside. He gasped. There were piles of gold, silver, and shining jewels everywhere. He filled a small bag with gold and hurried home. His wife was amazed, but his brother Kasim grew jealous when he found out. Kasim forced Alibaba to reveal the secret words. He went to the cave himself but forgot the words to come out. The thieves returned and found Kasim trapped. They punished him for his greed. Later, the thieves learned that Alibaba also knew their secret. They planned to kill him and came to his house disguised as oil merchants. Their leader hid them inside large jars outside Alibaba's home. Morgiana, Alibaba's clever servant, noticed the jars were not filled with oil. She poured hot oil into each jar, stopping the thieves inside. The leader escaped but returned later, pretending to be a kind merchant. Morgiana recognized him and bravely defeated him too. Alibaba was deeply grateful to Morgiana for her courage and wisdom. He promised to live honestly and never let greed control his life. From then on, Alibaba and his family lived in peace and gratitude. Greed leads to destruction, but wisdom brings safety. True loyalty and cleverness can defeat any danger.
नेक्स्ट स्टोरी में आप देख सकते हैं आपको दो माउस यानी दो चूहे नजर आ रहे हैं। ये स्टोरी है हमारे पास टाउन माउस एंड कंट्री माउस। तो आइए इस स्टोरी को रीड करते हैं।
The Country Mouse and the Town Mouse, Fable version. Once there was a country mouse who lived happily in a small burrow in the countryside. He enjoyed eating simple food like grains, berries, and nuts. One day, his cousin, the town mouse, came to visit. The town mouse looked around and said, "My dear cousin, how can you live in such a quiet place?" The country mouse smiled and said, "It may be simple, but it's peaceful." The town mouse wrinkled his nose at the plain food and said, "Come to the city with me. You'll see real comfort." The country mouse agreed and followed his cousin to the town. They entered a grand house filled with tasty food, cheese, cakes, and fruits. The country mouse was amazed and said, "This is wonderful." They began to eat, but suddenly, meow, a big cat appeared. Both mice ran and hid behind a curtain, shaking with fear. Soon a servant came in, and they had to run again to another corner. The poor country mouse's heart was pounding fast. He said, "Cousin, your food is fancy, but your life is full of danger." The town mouse said, "You'll get used to it." But the country mouse shook his head. "I'd rather eat dry bread in peace than cake in fear." He thanked his cousin and went back to his quiet country home. There he enjoyed his simple meal and slept peacefully. Moral: better simple safety than rich danger.
नेक्स्ट स्टोरी आप देख सकते हैं, यहाँ पर आपको एक आदमी दिखाया गया है जिसके हाथ में एक चिराग यानी एक लैंप है। तो ये स्टोरी है हमारे पास अलादीन एंड द मैजिक लैंप की। तो आइए इस स्टोरी को रीड करते हैं।
Aladdin and the Magic Lamp, True Fable Version. Aladdin was a poor boy who lived with his widowed mother. He was lazy and dreamed of easy riches. One day, a stranger arrived. "I am your long-lost uncle," he said kindly. Aladdin believed him. The uncle was actually a sorcerer from a faraway land. He wanted to use Aladdin for his own plan. He led Aladdin to a magical cave hidden in the desert. "Go inside and bring me an old lamp," he ordered. Inside the cave, Aladdin found shining treasure and a dusty old lamp. He picked them both up. When Aladdin tried to leave, the sorcerer tried to trap him inside the cave. Scared, Aladdin kept the lamp. Aladdin rubbed the lamp to clean it. Suddenly, smoke rose and a powerful genie appeared. "I am the servant of the lamp. I will grant you anything you wish," the genie said. Aladdin also remembered the ring the sorcerer gave him. When he rubbed it, a smaller genie appeared. With the genie's power, Aladdin became rich, built a grand palace, and married the princess. Everyone admired Aladdin, but he grew comfortable and careless, trusting the lamp too much. The sorcerer learned Aladdin was alive and rich. He planned revenge. He went to the palace and shouted, "New lamps for old!" The princess did not know the lamp was magical. She gave him the old lamp. The sorcerer laughed and called the genie. With the lamp's power, he took the palace and princess to a faraway land. When Aladdin returned, everything was gone. He felt hopeless. Then he remembered the ring. He rubbed it, and the smaller genie appeared. "Take me to my palace and princess," Aladdin wished. The ring genie brought him there. Aladdin bravely faced the sorcerer. Using his cleverness, he defeated him and took back the lamp. He called the genie of the lamp. The palace and princess were safely returned home. Aladdin had learned his lesson. He used his power wisely and helped the people. He became loved and respected, and in time, he became the Sultan. Moral 1: power can be stolen if you are careless. Moral 2: even the poorest person can rise, but staying wise is the real challenge.
लास्ट पिक्चर में आप देख सकते हैं हमारे पास एक टोर्टाइस यानी एक केचुआ है और यहाँ पर एक हेयर रैबिट यानी खरगोश मौजूद है, जिससे हमें आइडिया हो रहा है कि ये स्टोरी है द टोर्टाइस एंड द हेयर की। तो आइए इस लास्ट स्टोरी को रीड करते हैं।
The Tortoise and the Hare. One day, a hare boasted about how fast he could run. The tortoise, tired of hearing him brag, said, "I challenge you to a race." The hare burst out laughing. "You? Beat me? Impossible." Still, he agreed, and the race was set. Ready, set, go! The hare dashed forward like the wind. The tortoise began slowly, step by steady step. The hare looked back. The tortoise was far behind. Confident, the hare said, "I'll rest a while under this tree." He lay down in the shade and soon fell fast asleep. Meanwhile, the tortoise kept moving, never stopping, never rushing. Step by step, he passed the sleeping hare. At last, the tortoise neared the finish line. The hare suddenly woke up and raced forward with all his strength. But it was too late. The tortoise had already crossed the line. The tortoise said, "Slow and steady wins the race." Moral 1. Slow and steady wins the race. Moral 2. Overconfidence can lead to failure.
तो यहाँ पर हमने दी हुई सारी पिक्चर्स से रिलेटेड स्टोरीज को रीड किया। इस पेज पर हमारे पास 9 पिक्चर्स दी गई थी जिनसे हमने 9 स्टोरीज को रीड किया। ये स्टोरीज आपने कभी ना कभी सुनी होंगी, आपने इनको बुक्स में रीड किया होगा, जैसे जो द फॉक्स एंड द ग्रेप्स है या द शेफर्ड बॉय एंड द वुल्फ है, द लॉयन एंड द माउस है, ये आपकी बुक्स में ऑलरेडी मेंशन है। इसी तरह द ग्रासहोपर एंड द एंट, द टोर्टाइज एंड द हेयर और बाकी जितनी भी स्टोरीज हैं ये हमने किसी न किसी हाल में मूवीज की सूरत में या बुक्स में हमने ये स्टोरीज सुनी है, यानी ये हर ज़माने की मशहूर कहानियाँ हैं। ये बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग यूनिट है। इस यूनिट में हम बहुत सारी फेमस स्टोरीज को रीड करेंगे, तो उम्मीद है आप इस यूनिट को पढ़ते हुए एंजॉय करेंगे। आप मुझे कमेंट सेक्शन में बताइए कि इन स्टोरीज में से आपकी फेवरेट स्टोरी कौन सी है। आज की वीडियो को हम यहीं पर एंड करते हैं। इंशाल्लाह नेक्स्ट वीडियो में हम यूनिट नंबर 2 का लिसनिंग पोर्शन रीड करेंगे। यहाँ पर हम जो ऑलरेडी स्टोरीज रीड कर चुके हैं आज की वीडियो में, उनके बारे में हम डिस्कशन करेंगे और मज़ीद कुछ स्टोरीज को रीड करेंगे। तो आज की वीडियो को हम यहीं पर एंड करते हैं। जिन्होंने अभी तक मेरे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया, काइंडली मेरे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कीजिए ताकि हर आने वाली वीडियो आपको टाइमली मिल सके। थैंक यू।